Ah, what a lovely day it is today. What a lovely day it is today. I mean, I told the world what was gonna happen. I said we'd walk in the AT&T Stadium, and I said the Pack would put on a show and come away with the dub. We are not undefeated at that stadium for no reason. It's Lambeau South. That's what we do. We beat the Cowboys. Okay? I told you guys. I told you. So today, I'm choosing violence. I'm being obnoxious. I don't care. Go, Pack, go. And any of y'all that are Cowboys fans out here on my subscription list, here we go! Here we go to Cancun. Here we go to the couch. Here we go, Pack, go. Let's get into this Darrell Brooks trial. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our sponsor for today, Kenichi Bear Headphones. You guys already know what the deal is. Save yourself 15% using promo code Alphonso, all caps, ALPHONSO. I do identify by that name, and I do know that individual. And we are gonna get into some Darrell Brooks content today. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I don't even know if Darrell Brooks himself could ruin my mood today. But hey, he's capable of anything, right? Let's get into it. Let's do this. Let's do this. Once again, big thanks to Court TV for supplying the footage and not being a jerk and trying to monetize it. I really appreciate that. Let's do this. Next witness for the state. I think this one's a bit of a long one, so we'll try to get through this one as best as we can. Okay, but go Pack, go. Go Pack, go. All you need is love, y'all. Love is all you need. Oh, what a day. Oh, it's only made better by Darrell Brooks' fake tears. The fake emotion. The fake emotion from Darrell Brooks.
The state calls Sarah Waymire Aparicio. Madam Clerk, could we also work on getting the rear table switched as the input? Thank you.
Sarah Waymire Aparicio is her name?
I'm sorry, what's her name again?
Sarah Waymire.
Thank you.
Has a hell of a name, Sarah. Oh, I like that
That's fine.
that jacket, Attorney Basie. I like that. Looks nice. I don't know if I really saw Attorney Hopper really rocking any bold colors throughout this trial. It was mostly Attorney Basie. You know, two different kind of people, all working on the same team to get the same result, doing it effectively.
Good afternoon, Ms. Waymire Aparicio. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is up a riser to my right. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand, and my clerk, Teresa, will swear you in. She's right over here.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names and spell each for the record.
Those of you who are new to the channel, we do watch the trial on 1.25 speeds, just a little bit faster, and that is because of the obnoxious questioning of Mr. Darrell Brooks. How long he takes in between questions, things like that. We want to try to avoid being here for hours. So yeah, if you notice it's going a little bit faster, so like when you see the exhibits and stuff, and you see the car moving, keep in mind it's going a quarter of the speed faster on this video than it actually was. So just keep that in mind.
All right, my first name is Sarah, S-A-R-A-H. My last names are Waymire, W-E-H-M-E-I-E-R, and Aparicio, A-P-A-R-I-C-I-O.
But you know what, guys?
Go ahead, your witness.
I'm getting a very important call right now. Oh my gosh, my dryer. I'm getting a very important call right now that could be related to you guys. So, come on a second. All right, everybody, we're back. I know I'm in the same spot. That was probably a weird little jump cut right there. But, listen, that phone call was really important. That was about like a 30-minute phone call. And I think you guys are going to be really excited about what's coming from that. So, more to come once it's official. But I will let you guys know as soon as I know. But let's get back into this trial. Headphones back on. Let's go.
Thank you. Ma'am, can you tell us where you work?
I work with the school district of Waukesha.
What was your job title during the 2021-2022 academic year?
I was the director of bands at Waukesha South High School.
What kind of things do you do as the band director at South?
Organize all sorts of events, whether it's concerts or marching band performing in parades.
How long did you hold that position?
I held the position on and off over the years for 10 years.
As the band director at Waukesha South, how frequently did you interact with the kids who were members of the band?
On a daily basis.
Okay. And did you know the name of all the kids that were in your marching band during that school year?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Did the band march in the 2021 Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Yes, we did.
Were you there with them?
Yes, I was.
Had you done that in the past?
Yes, I had.
About how many times?
Every year that I was there, we did that parade as well as Memorial Day.
Would you describe it as an event that the kids look forward to?
Absolutely.
I forgot, guys. I don't have to go 1.25 speed when it's the prosecution.
When the band marches, are they in formation?
They are.
What about uniforms? Do they have any?
We do have uniforms, yes.
Okay. When you march in formation, is this something that you practice with the band?
We do. We practice with the students that are in the marching band portion of the parade. We had also done another parade in the Dells that year, so we had practiced with that. For the students that are not in marching band, we had practiced during class time for several weeks leading up to it.
How does the formation of the marching band get set up?
So we practice during class, and then we kind of have the general structure of what it will look like. And then student leaders within the section place the students in their places the day of the parade.
So they have a little leeway, but you don't want bass drums marching next to clarinets?
Correct, exactly. So we say these 2 rows will be flutes. So senior leaders help decide which flutes are in those located, or those specified places.
Okay. I'm going to ask that we project Exhibit 21 onto the screen for the witness and the defendant.
Permission granted.
Just let me know when you see a picture in front of you.
Okay. It is here, yep.
Okay, what are we looking at with Exhibit 21? Can you tell us what this is?
So this is an aerial view of our marching band. You can see the names of the students that are identified. Those were all students that were physically impacted by the car that day.
November 21st of 2021?
Correct.
The Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Correct.
Have you reviewed this photograph and the information contained in it before your testimony today?
Yes, I have.
Does it accurately represent the formation of the kids in your band on that day?
It does, yes.
One thing I've noticed, guys, I haven't heard any objection from Darrell Brooks yet. Now, you guys got to help me out here. Keep track of this along with me and just let me know in the comment section. Some of you have already watched the trial all the way through, but does he typically object way more often when Attorney Basie or Attorney Opper are questioning the witnesses than when Attorney Wichow is questioning the witnesses? And I'm curious because of, you know, how his dynamic is when it comes to women. He has no respect. Does he feel more comfortable objecting when the women are asking the questions than he does when a man is asking the questions? Is that like a subconscious thing that, you know, as soon as he hears the women asking the questions, all of a sudden he wants to talk. He wants to run his mouth. But when the man is asking the questions, not so much. Like Kevin Hart.
I move Exhibit 21 into evidence and ask to publish.
Any position?
The object.
Exhibit 21 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Oh, right on cue, right? But see, he only objected when he was asked any position. Yeah, I object. But he doesn't have that much to say. I feel like if it was Attorney Basie, I object. This don't even make no sense. Like, this is irrelevant. Shouldn't even be allowed to ask these questions. What's the subject matter jurisdiction?
And can we zoom in on that a little bit? There we go. Can you walk us through from left to right, just identifying, I know that we can all read, but just for the record, can you read those names for us and then also tell us what instrument each of those kids is playing?
All right, so first we have Aiden Lofgren on bass drum, Connor Tank on crash cymbals, Justin Gullickson on sousaphone, Eric Teagues, trombone, Tyler Pudliner on tenor sax. Still on the exterior, Harry Guilfoyle on...
If you were marching on the right side of this formation, today was your lucky day. My goodness, because I believe he swerved and hit like most of them on that left side. You got one in the middle right there. That's Eleanor Anders, who got hit as well, it appears, but looks like most of, like, nobody to the far right looks like got hit. It's like everybody on the far left got hit. And again, this is just so, like, you see, it's like every time I see the pictures of the videos before he runs through the parade, it's like, bro, that's so, like, that's kind of eerie how this was just a normal day, man. Like, nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever was happening until he did what he did, until he ran his car through the parade. Everything was just normal and chill and relaxed, and the vibe was there. And then all of a sudden, everything just goes to hell. And, like, you have no idea that it's about to happen.
On trumpet, then Eleanor Anders on mellophone, Theo Mazza on trumpet, Marit Gilchrist on alto sax, and Sasha Catalan on clarinet.
What's a mellophone?
A mellophone is a marching version of a French horn.
What about a sousaphone?
A marching version of a tuba.
Have you ever seen the Ohio State Marching Band perform?
I have, yes.
I'll withdraw the question.
Could
So-
be the Badgers.
That was actually funny.
There-
Now they're like, how do you just stop in the middle of a court case and, like, now you're going back and forth about Ohio State and Wisconsin. By the way, go Badgers, right? Go Badgers. But that's funny. That's the kind of vibe that you get when you have a quality human being asking the questions. I want you guys, like, we are going to see such a stark difference when Darrell starts asking his questions. The vibe is going to change completely.
There are 10 members of your
But again, go Badgers and go Pack Go. Go Wisconsin, man.
band identified in this photograph, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Could we please project for the witness only Exhibit 15? Do you see something on your screen in front of you?
There's a map on the screen.
Are you familiar with downtown Waukesha?
I am, yes.
Okay. Do you recognize what we're looking at in this map?
I do, yes.
Okay. Exhibit 15 was previously received and published. I'd ask to publish again.
Permission granted.
Could we zoom in, Ms. Gussie, on the intersection? There we go. Yep.
Wait, where are they? Oh, okay.
All right.
There.
Do you see a yellow star between Barstow and Gasper Streets on Main Street?
Yes.
And do you see the line connecting that yellow star to a box with some green background and some names
I do.
under the banner of Waukesha South Band?
Correct, yes.
Take a moment, take as much time as you need, read through those names in that list. Let me know when you're done.
Okay.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, looking at this map is making me really not look forward to the rest of this trial, man, because we still haven't even gotten to the Waukesha Blazers baseball, and we all know what happened there. We still haven't gotten to Citizens Bank. We all know what happened there, and we still haven't gotten to the Dancing Grannies. We all know what happened there. Like, there is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff here to get through, and it's going to be pretty heavy. But I'm glad I have you guys watching alongside with me because, man, this is tough, man. Fortunately, nobody in the Waukesha South Band lost their life, but, like, they got messed up, bro. Like, they got dogged. Just like Nicole White did. But, like, they got absolutely annihilated. And, man, the testimony is going to get very, very heavy as this trial keeps going. So, bear with me, guys. If you're wondering why I started the Bryce Rhodes trial, but I haven't, like, really gone through the rest of it yet, it's because, oh my goodness, the murder in that is just, whew, it's a lot for me. it's a lot for me. And I'm very like energy sensitive, man. So like that's some heavy stuff. Hopefully eventually I will be able to stomach it, but like that ain't today. It's not today.
Are the names on that list identical to the names that you previously told us about in Exhibit 21, that photograph of the aerial view?
Yes.
Overruled. She may answer. I believe she did answer, and her answer may stand at the jury. I'll hear them. All right, thank you.
Can you tell us what happened while your band was marching between Barstow and approaching Gasper Street on Main Street on November 21st of 2021?
So I was towards the front of the band. That tends to be where I typically am because if you can imagine a typical parade, there's a lot of stopping and starting as the band is going through the streets. And so I am in connection with our drum majors. Those are the student leaders who have the whistles that give the students the command when they should be forward marching and when we should be marching in place. So I'm helping look ahead to see what's coming down the road while the students are busy playing their instruments. The streets had just narrowed as we got into that point, and there was a lot of enthusiasm in the crowd, and I could feel the energy from the students. And all of a sudden I heard something going on, so I turned around, and at first I thought there was an emergency vehicle or something. I could tell there was some sort of a vehicle trying to get through. And then I started just seeing things flying in the air, and I realized this was not a vehicle waiting for people to move out of the way. I realized this vehicle was running over people. The students around me, we all kind of dispersed at the same time. I thought in the initial moments that it was an accident, but then as I turned and the car went immediately past me, and I could see that the driver was staring straight ahead and knew that, could have clearly seen that they were running over people.
What?
Like, why, bro? Again, that's the biggest question that nobody can really answer from this trial. Why? Why did you do that? What was your purpose? What were you trying to prove? What were you trying to accomplish? How angry can you be that you run over 60 people? Go punch a wall or something and get over it. You run over almost 70 people?
What happened next?
My first impact was to run after the car for a moment. And then I realized, because I watched them run over the people in front of me as well. And then I turned around and I saw my students all laying on the street and screaming. A police officer immediately, what felt like at the time, immediately came running, shots fired. And so my students who weren't injured were all dispersed. And I was trying to, at the same time, watch over my students on the street, but keep an eye on where the other students who were going so that I could make sure they were all safe as well. But I stayed in the streets so that we didn't know where the shots fired were coming from. So I wanted to make sure that those students in the street were safe as well.
Worst part is I feel like she's going to have to rewatch the video of them getting run over. I hate that for her.
And just to clarify, you mentioned that you heard from a police officer that shots had been fired?
Correct.
You yourself, with the trained ear of a band director, didn't hear any gunshots?
I did not hear gunshots, no.
Okay. I'm going to ask that we project on the screen for the witness only exhibit number 24, please.
Please don't be the video.
Permission granted.
And can we make sure we're playing this at normal speed?
It's the video.
And we're going to turn the volume off while we identify, so we'll leave it off there. Just going to play a few seconds without any volume, and then I'll stop and I'll ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
See, this is why she got commended by Judge Darrell in like her sentencing remarks, because like, look at her. Like, I know this is not easy, but she's braving through it, man. She's watching.
Okay, we've stopped at about 5 seconds into the video. Do you recognize this video?
Yes, that is our band performing.
And I'm not sure how familiar you are with downtown, but do you know the businesses that your band is in front of right now?
We're by Davino Gelato and Martha Merrill's.
Okay.
And then the Alo Chocolate and everything is on the other side as well as an apartment building.
Okay. Have you reviewed this video before your testimony today?
Yes, I have.
Does it accurately depict what happened to your band the
Yes, it
afternoon of the
does.
parade. Move Exhibit 24 into evidence and ask to publish.
Any position, Mr. Brooks?
Objection. If the witness has seen this video before, how would that corroborate with the testimony?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
What? Whatever. Let's just keep going. Whatever.
Exhibit 24 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
We are going to play this entirely through. It's 30 seconds long. We're going to play it once with the audio at normal speed. Go ahead. All right, let's pull it up again and set the speed to 50%. And turn the audio off. And we're going to play to a certain point, and then I'll say pause, and then I'll ask you some questions when we pause, okay?
Objection. What is the relevancy of playing it at slower speed?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Permission granted.
Go ahead and play. Pause. We've paused at 11 seconds. From viewing the video up to this 11-second point, can you tell us who in your band was struck by that SUV so far?
So far, that would have been Aiden, Connor, Justin, Eric, and Tyler. I believe at that point, perhaps also Harry.
She is a trooper, bro. She got all my respect. All my respect. Not only is she watching the video, keeping her composure, but she is naming them by name, bro. She knows her students. Those are her babies.
And let's resume at the 11-second mark, please. Pause. We've paused at 16 seconds. Would it be fair to say that the remaining students we've been talking about today were struck after that point?
Correct.
And now we've reached a point where the SUV is completely past all of your band members?
Correct.
I'm going to ask that we project for the witness only exhibit number 23.
Go ahead.
We're just going to play a few seconds at normal speed here without any audio. Pause. We're 5 seconds in. Do you recognize this video?
Yes, I do.
Did you see yourself in the video?
I did.
Does this video depict the same marching band in the same area of Main Street on November 21st?
It does.
I'd move exhibit 23 into evidence and ask to publish.
Any position, Mr. Brooks?
Objection.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 23 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
We'll play this once through at normal speed with audio, please. At the tail end of that video, we saw a red SUV. Is that the SUV you've been talking about during your testimony?
That is, yes.
Okay. And can we go back to the beginning of that video? We'll turn the audio off. And we'll just play a few seconds here from the beginning. Pause. We are 2 seconds in. Do you see yourself on the screen?
I do.
So that's a touch screen in front of you. Would you mind drawing a circle around yourself?
Okay.
All right. So you are directly above the black shirt band banner.
Correct.
All right. And then we can clear that. All right, we did it already. Thank you. I'd ask that we put up for the witness only exhibit number 22, please. A few seconds without any audio for the witness only. Pause. And we've stopped at 7 seconds. Do you recognize that video?
I do.
What does this video show?
This video also shows the car coming through as well, and different angle in terms of some of the students dispersing as well, some of them getting struck by the car.
Is this video also an accurate representation of what happened that day?
Yes, it is.
Move exhibit 22 into evidence and ask to publish.
Mr. Brooks, any
Objection.
position?
Objection.
The objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 22 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
We're going to play this in its entirety. It's 32 seconds long with the audio. Did you see yourself in that video?
I did.
Let's go back to the beginning, please, and set it to play at 50% speed. And we'll turn the audio off this time.
She is not trying to watch this video again, man. You just saw that little that deep breath. Unfortunately, Attorney Witchow's got to kind of be a little bit of the bad guy here and show the evidence, but it's the only way to put this guy away. So.
And we'll play from the beginning. Let's pause. We've paused at 9 seconds. Can you use the screen in front of you and circle yourself if you see yourself? Can we clear that, please? And we'll resume at the 9-second mark. Pause. We've paused at 21 seconds. You testified earlier that you initially ran towards the vehicle as it was driving away, is that right?
Correct.
Do we see you do that in this portion of the video?
Yes.
If you see yourself, can you circle yourself on the screen? So you're in the bottom right-hand corner. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. We can take that down. Did you see that red SUV stop at any point?
No.
As you were in real time remembering the events of that day, do you recall seeing any of your students getting hit?
I did not see any of my students get hit, only of the group in front of me. I just saw, like I said, things flying because they were in the formation. It came through the middle.
In the immediate aftermath, after the vehicle had gone through and after you had run after it briefly, did you have any personal interaction with any of your students who had been hit?
I did. There were several on the ground, and they were surrounded by other bystanders who stepped in. So I just basically was circulating on the ground between the students who were injured, and then the students had run away to several shops in the area. And so I was just, it probably was an hour, it felt like. I don't really know how much time it was exactly, but rotating between the students who were injured as we were waiting for first responders, as well as checking on the students and trying to at least keep the kids who were not injured in a space where we knew where they were, so we could safely get them home once all of our injured students had been picked up by first responders.
Do you know whether any of those students that you had personal interaction with had to be transported to the hospital?
There were several students that had to be taken to the hospital.
Do you know in general the nature of some of those injuries?
There was many broken bones, a lot of, there was internal bleeding, dental work that needed to be done, lots of stitches, cuts, abrasions, sprains, torn ligaments.
Did you remain in your capacity as the Waukesha South marching band director for the remainder of that academic year?
I did.
You eventually went back to school after that Sunday, the 21st, is that right?
That is correct. So we went back to school once we were assured that we had as many students that were still left in the area back to get them on the bus back to school.
You're talking about that night, Sunday,
That evening,
21st.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And in the days that followed, kids
Yes.
came back to school.
They did, yes.
And you had personal interaction with the members of your marching band?
Yes, I did.
Your objections noted, it's overruled.
Can we please put Exhibit 21 back up on the screen? And this has previously been admitted. It's the diagram. I'd ask that we put it up for the jury as well.
Go ahead.
Based on your own observations that day, your interaction with the students in the immediate aftermath, and your review of the video evidence here today in court, how many of those 10 members of your marching band were either struck or run over by the red SUV?
They all were.
Can you tell us whether or not you got a good look at the driver that day?
I did from the profile.
Approximately how many feet would you estimate you were from the driver at his closest?
Probably 2 feet.
You were still in the street at that point,
Correct.
and the SUV was too?
Yes.
We saw in the video what the lighting conditions were, but could you describe from your own memory what the lighting was like that day?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
The lights were beginning, the sun was beginning to set. However, we were in an area where we were by lots of stores, so the sun was still out, as well as the light coming from all the storefronts.
Could we project on the screen for the witness only, exhibit number 120? Do you see an image on the screen in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Is that image an accurate representation of what the driver of the SUV looked like that day when you saw him?
Completely, yes.
I'd move exhibit 120 into evidence and ask to publish.
120 is received. Permission to publish is granted. May have been received earlier.
Yeah, it's already been received.
I believe you testified a little bit earlier about the driver's demeanor as you observed him. Could you go into more detail about that?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. She may answer.
So originally my perception just had been that I assumed there was an accident because I could not imagine anything else. But when the car went past me, my perception changed of what was happening completely, because the driver was looking straight ahead, looked very attentive at that point. So the driver clearly was aware that he had hit and run over all of these people. It was not something that could have happened without the driver's awareness. We were also coming up on an intersection of a cross street. And although there was a crowd on the side, again, this is just my perception, but if the driver had been trying to escape the parade route so they were no longer hitting people, I felt like an instinct would have caused the head to turn to see if there was a way out on that side street. But the driver's head never turned looking for a way out of the parade route at that moment. And that's what caused my perception of what was going on that day to change.
When you say side street, you're referring to the street that runs in front of the Martha Merrill bookstore?
Correct.
Gasper Street?
Gasper Street.
And again, just to clarify, when we look at exhibit number 120 here, the person in white, is that a member of your band?
Yes, that is. That is one of the student conductors.
And then the person in the foreground on the right with a blurry face, is that another, I don't know if you know who it is, but can you tell us if that's a member of your band?
That is a member of our band, yes.
Okay. That's all the questions I have for this witness. Thank you.
All right, court's going to take a break before we do cross-exam.
Okay, so they do end up taking a break and end up coming back right about here. And this is where we will go to 1.25 speed because it's time for Darrell's questions.
I didn't time my break this time, so I don't know where I'm at.
It's about,
I
I think it was 2:36. Yeah.
Am I right? Witness my exhibit.
I didn't have anything going, so I just took you to.
Whatever's easiest to do. Otherwise, you can just make some notations. You can go back up. Appearances are as they were before. We'll bring the jury out for cross. Go ahead. Please be seated. Mr. Brooks, do you have any questions for this witness? Go ahead.
On the night of evening of November 21st, 2021, do you recall what officer conducted your interview?
I do not recall.
Can you recall if it was a detective or just a regular officer?
I do not recall.
She said she can't recall.
You mentioned earlier in testimony that that there was a side street where there.
You know what? Hold up. I forgot y'all. It's breathe break time, right? It's breathe break time. 3 deep breaths. You guys know how we do here. 1,000 years. And out. Remember, guys, go Pat, go. Nothing can ruin my day. Nothing can ruin my day today. Not even Darrell Brooks. Okay. All right. There's some heavy stuff, so today's episode has made me a little bit more agitated than normal. But I'm trying to keep it together. I know you guys love my composure, my gentleness, my calmness. So I'm going to get back to that. But like, bro, I'm telling you, just want to round the back of his neck. Just, just round the back of his neck. I just want one good time. One good time. I don't think anybody did that to him enough. Just one good time. That's all I want.
Could have been an exit out of the parade route provided. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say, yes.
Do you recall if that side street was barricaded in any way?
I do not recall.
Do you recall if there was another side street on the opposite side of the street?
The other side of the street has a plaza, so there's an open space, but it's not a for car traffic street.
Do you recall what that street would be used for if not for traffic?
It's an open space where people who have been on the shops on Main Street can go down to the Riverwalk.
Do you know if cars can park there?
They may not.
So it's basically like just a walkway.
Correct.
Again, what does this prove?
From what you recall, can you estimate the speed of the vehicle that you saw that day?
I'm not good at estimating speeds, but it felt fast as it went past me. It felt like it was accelerating.
And you stated you was relatively close to the vehicle when it passed you?
Yes, I was.
Were you injured in any way?
I was not. Fortunately, I moved just in time.
Do you recall if anybody that may have been directly next to you was injured in any way?
They were not.
So would it be fair to say that everyone in your immediate area was not struck?
Depends on how you want to define immediate, but the first 4 rows of the band, no one was struck because at that point everyone had run away.
I was referring to, I guess I wasn't clear enough on immediate. I was referring to directly next to you.
Directly next to me, no.
Were you able to get a license plate number of the vehicle?
I was not.
I hate when he asks that stupid question. Why do we need a license plate number? There was only one car that ran through the parade. We don't need the license plate number. No other Ford Escape was recovered in Waukesha that day. We don't need a license plate number. And even if we did, the car with the freaking bumper hanging off of it was registered in your mom's name. What a stupid question that is.
Did you notice any tinted windows to the vehicle?
It's 11 months ago, but I believe there were in the back, but I don't want to say yes or no for sure.
This question again is stupid. We literally just before the lunch break, or whatever the break was, the jury was just shown a picture of you driving the car. So tinted windows don't matter. You're in the driver's seat. In that picture, that still, I'm assuming it was like more of a still from a video. That was from directly after the band got run over. So you think the jury is stupid enough to believe that in between the Waukesha South band getting run over and that still being captured, that you somehow switched into the driver's seat with some imaginary person who then went into the back seat. So you're somehow not responsible for running over the Waukesha South band. Okay, I'll entertain you, Darrell. I'll entertain you. Let's say that is possible. Let's say you're Nightcrawler. Okay, let's say you're Nightcrawler and you can just poof, you can just teleport wherever you want to go. Let's say, okay, fine. There's still dozens more people that got run over. That picture shows you in the driver's seat of that same car that ran those people over. So even if you're Nightcrawler and you didn't run over the Waukesha South band and you didn't run over Nicole White, you ran over everybody else. You're still guilty of something here, Darrell. Spoiler, you're guilty of everything.
On that.
Did you see anyone else in the vehicle?
I did not.
Could you see the back seats of the vehicle?
I did not look at the back seats.
Could you see the passenger seat of the vehicle?
I could.
Do you recall anyone being in the passenger
I
seat?
did not see anyone in the passenger seat.
Sorry, I keep pausing, but again, Darrell's questions are so stupid I have to comment on them. You are now presenting the information. You're presenting your defense as, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm pretty sure later on in the questioning, he's going to say, was the car swerving? Did you hear a horn? Basically trying to prove intent. Darrell, were you in the car or not? Were you driving or not? Spoiler, again, you were. You were. And you intentionally ran over people.
Did you initially hear any sounds before you realized that something was wrong?
The band had just started playing, and so I was concentrating on listening to the sounds of the band, and then all of a sudden it was just the sound of chaos as the car came through the band.
So it would be fair to say that it was pretty loud.
Where I was at that moment, yes, because I was directly in the middle of the band.
Would you say extremely loud or moderately loud?
I would say moderately loud, and as the band director, my job was listening to the sound of the band, and so I could give the students feedback when we got back to school. So that's where my focus was.
From your estimation, do you think it would have, the sounds from the band and the people and just the parade itself, would that at any time impaired you from hearing everything that was going on?
Everything, likely, but for example, like it would have still been, it wasn't so loud I would have heard a car horn that I would have been able to hear.
I wasn't referring to that.
Okay, I was just asking because you were asking volumes, and so I couldn't have heard everything. I couldn't have heard something soft, but something that loud as an example.
So just to be clear, from your opinion, you think you would have been able to hear a horn?
I believe I would have.
Even at the same time listening for the band notes, as you say, you have to give them feedback when you got back to school?
Because that would have been an unexpected sound, so that would have been something that would have stood out in my
It would have
memory.
been something that draws your attention.
Exactly.
Didn't I tell you guys? Didn't I tell you he was gonna now switch the defense to, was it intentional? Didn't you hear a horn? What does a horn mean? Doesn't a horn mean you're trying to alert people of your presence so they can get out of your way? Why does that matter, Darrell, if you weren't in the driver's seat? You just asked if anybody was in the back seat. So what does it matter what the intent was? It wasn't you, right? You weren't the one driving the car. Why are you trying to prove somebody else's intent? You should just try to prove that you weren't the one in the driver's seat, right? Am I right or what?
So in your opinion, do you estimate it would have been hard to hear any screaming or anything of that nature?
We started, as soon as the screaming started, we did hear that immediately. Because as soon as the screaming started, the students stopped playing, and so that loudness.
1 second.
Okay, sorry.
Do you recall how long you had been actively participating in the parade at the time of the incident?
That had been my first year back as the director of band for a while, but I marched in that parade in high school myself. And I've attended on the years that I was not teaching, so it's probably my 40th time plus at that parade.
I think you probably misunderstood.
Okay.
Well, that's still, I don't have to ask that question. I was referring to how long you had been marching at
that time.
At that point in.
Probably, blocks all changed size pretty quickly in Waukesha, but we had been going for about 4 blocks. We were about at the halfway point of the parade route.
I know it annoys you guys so much when he starts all that laughing and cordial stuff like he thinks he has friends in this courtroom. It's crazy. It's so crazy to me. Like I told you guys, though, the reason he does that is because he's just looking for anybody that will treat him like a normal human being and not like a monster. So if anybody's having a normal conversation with him, he loves that. He savors it because that's not his reality anymore. He's now just a number. He's not going to be treated like a human being anymore for the rest of his life. He is now being treated like an animal. And by all accounts, he's acting like an animal. Somebody left a comment in the comment section saying that he is throwing poop at the guards. Poop. He's 40.
Did you notice anything amiss up until that point?
Up until that point, no.
Did you hear any law enforcement radios that may have alerted you to
No.
something being wrong?
No.
So it'd be fair to say, as far as you know, everything was pretty much standard.
Up until the moment, yes.
You stated in your report that you were walking backwards facing the students.
No, I was walking forward because the students near me were walking backwards. So I was the eyes in front for the students who were marching backwards.
So is it possible the report could have misquoted what you said?
I have not seen the report.
The report that I have would be page 2.
I don't have that in front of me.
Would you like to see it?
Sure. So I see it's not in, there we go. So I was facing forward, and then as soon as I heard sounds, I turned around and started facing backwards at that time to see what was happening. So my direction of movement until the incident started was forward. And then once I heard unexpected sounds coming from the back of the van, then I turned around.
Do you recall the statement that's in the report, though? She stated that she was walking backwards, facing the students.
She said she hasn't seen the report. She said that 3 times already. She hasn't seen the report. She doesn't know what's written in the report because she did not write it. She just gave the interview with the detective. That's it.
I do not, I guess I recall, yes, I must have. I don't recall this exact moment. I've spoken to lots of officers.
Do you recall thinking that the SUV was driving right at you?
It felt like it for a moment, yes.
And you stated that you initially started to chase after the vehicle briefly, but then stopped.
That was my instinct at the moment because I don't know why that was my instinct at the moment.
Mr. Brooks, are you done with the
Yes.
statement?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, no problem. I'm picking up.
Would it be fair to say that the unexpectedness of the event may have clouded everything that you recall about the event?
I think there's certain aspects of the event that I have great clarity for because it was such a life-changing thing. There are certain moments that are very clear in my memory. Then there's other aspects that maybe other people noticed that maybe 11 months later that are less clear because some of the other more graphic details are so strong in my memory.
It would be fair to say, though, that, or would it be, rather, I'm sorry about that, would it be fair to say that you don't recall everything from that November 21st
It was
evening?
That would be accurate.
To your recollection, would you have left out any details in your report?
No.
Were you able to see any license plate number on the vehicle?
I was not.
Asked and answered.
Do you recall about how far you initially had the reaction to chase after the vehicle, but then turn back to the students?
It was just a few steps.
Do you recall exactly where you were at
I was
in the parade?
in terms of the order of the parade.
In terms of what intersections you may have been at?
We were right. I was personally right outside of Martha Merrill's bookstore.
From the video footage, there were clearly a lot of spectators or people that weren't actively involved in the parade.
Yes,
Did you at any time see any of the spectators struck?
I did not.
Again, what are these questions proving?
After the incident, did you see any news reports about the incident?
I did.
Did any news reports that you saw jog anything to your memory?
Not especially. Maybe just showed different things that happened that evening in different parts of Main Street where I wasn't. But nothing changed my recollections of the South Band experience.
So it would be fair to say that what was reported on the news, you kind of pretty much already knew?
Correct.
Did you recall the news reporting how many people may have been hurt?
Yes.
What does this prove? I'll keep asking. What
From
does
which
this
you
prove?
recall and observed, do you think that those said news reports were accurate? Grounds.
Sustained. It's not relevant.
About how long did you stay at the parade after the incident?
I did not have my watch with me that evening, but we were there for quite a while because the students had scattered, and so it took us a while, as well as waiting to make sure all the students that were injured were taken by first responders, and they were overwhelmed, so it took a while for first responders to get to
So
everyone.
it would be fair to say that by the time you actually left, it was nightfall.
That is correct.
Do you recall the power going out?
That did not happen till we were back at the high school.
So you had already left
Correct.
the parade route by the time there was no power.
Correct.
Do you recall what time you left?
I don't recall. It would be in the bus company records. But
No further questions.
Thank you. Any redirect?
Just some brief clarification, and then I'd like to show one video, Your Honor, if that's all right. There were a few mentions during cross-examination about your report, in quotation marks.
yes.
You didn't actually sit down and type up a police report after the parade, did you?
No, I did not.
Objection. Irrelevant.
Or her rule. She may answer. Can you state your answer again?
I did not.
If there is an objection, let me rule
Oh, I'm
first.
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. You met with police officers after the fact and provided interviews, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And then, do you know whether they wrote police reports summarizing those statements?
If they did, I did not see those.
Okay. I would like to play for you exhibit number 22 one more time. And I'd like to play it for the jury as well, Your Honor, if that's all right.
Objection. You saw this video numerous times at this point.
Are you going to play the whole thing or parts of it?
The witness was asked about whether she heard a horn honking, and so I'm simply going to
She was
play.
not asked if she heard a horn honking. She was asked, did the sound of the parade?
I recall what was asked. I'm sorry, tell me again why you want the jury to see this the question? Because she was not asked specifically about a horn. She offered something.
In response to a question about what she heard. I simply want to play this video to see if the witness can hear the sound of a horn honking.
Objection. What's the relevancy at this point? She never was asked the question, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay, I don't have anything else for this witness. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You may stop.
Oh, Darrell, again. This is the first time he's finished the episode on a little victory. You guys were telling me in the comment section that him getting Miss Urel was not really a victory as it seemed that it was at the time. So this is his first official little victory, especially over Attorney Witchout. This is like the first one. Man, he got a victory over a man? Oh, Darrell's lawyer now. He's doing big things. Look, guys, we have, I believe, 1 or 2 more witnesses for day 3. Yeah, we have 2 more witnesses for day 3. And then we will be done with day 3. So I'm going to try get those knocked out this week. And, by next week, we will be in day 4. We got a long way to go, right? Long trial. My goodness. But, yeah. This one was very telling, very heavy. But let's lighten the mood a little bit by once again saying, "Go Pack, go!" On to the divisional round of the playoffs, and on to San Francisco. All my Dallas fans that are on this channel, sorry, not sorry. It is what it is. You guys were undefeated at home. We don't care. Why? Because we're undefeated at your stadium too. This has been Alphonso Speaks, Darrell Brooks Trial, PLP. Spread it everywhere you go. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you like this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.